Hello, YouTube. So I just took a trip out to the coast, out to Mompiche, which is in Esmeraldas province. That's a part of Ecuador that, with the current crisis, the conflict between the government and the cartels in Ecuador, that many people consider to be a do not travel area. And I traveled there. I went there with my family. It wasn't my plan to bring my family. I was going to go by myself, but they decided they were coming with me, whether I wanted them to or not. So here is that adventure. Obviously, we made it there and made it back safe, or I wouldn't be recording this video. So, little cheater. It's way less dangerous. It's way more safe than the travel warnings would have you believe. Here we go. Today, we're heading to the coast, and not just any part of the coast. We are heading to Esmeraldas province, which, according to all sources, is kind of the no-go part of Ecuador right now. But we're not heading just anywhere there. We're heading to Mompiche, and from everything I've heard, Mompiche is still pretty nice and safe. So I'm going to take you along for the drive, and we're going to see how it goes. I was going to head out here by myself, but at the last minute, the family decided they're coming too. So here we go. And now we're about to skirt around the town of La Concordia. At this first roundabout, we're gonna hang a Louis. We're gonna head left towards the coast. This is the route that keeps me from having to drive through Esmeraldas City, which is a place I really don't want to be right now. So here we go. I wish I was going to get to show you this town, because this is another colorful town. Let's put it that way. It's another spot that's not my favorite place. It's a little rough around the edges, but it would have been interesting to show you. However, not today. You guys just kind of get to see the outskirts of La Concordia. Alright, so we are coming into the town of Pedernales. I'm only going to be able to video a little bit here because in a moment I'm going to need to check my map so I know where I'm going. I think I actually turn here. Ay, ay, ay. Nice stop, guy. Nice stop. So driving in Pedernales, I've always noticed is super hectic. It's just a stressful experience. People, they don't follow any rules, and there's a ton of these little three-wheel like moto taxis rolling around, and they drive like maniacs. Right now, the road's wide open. I'm kind of once again skirting around the center of town, which is nice. I don't have to get into the worst of it. Traffic light here that doesn't work, so everyone's just going. And what's going on up here? A little bit of motor taxi chaos. Some guy driving backwards. So we've seen our first sign of anything on this drive, and that was the police just had some kid pulled over on the side of the road, and they were stripping off his shirt to check for gang tattoos. That's literally the only sign of any trouble we've seen on this entire drive. So once again, a lot calmer than I expected. Hope I'm not jinxing myself, but yeah, we're almost there.
Bonita.
So, while in Mompiche, we ended up staying at a little place called Ocean Surf. In fact, oh, there's a sign they're working on over there. Let's go look at it. Ocean Surf Hosteria. Found this place on booking.com. It's got a little kitchen. It's a little cluttered, but it's all right. It's a simple place. It's not fancy. It's not expensive. But what makes this place great, and the reason why I'm including them in this video, is the owner, Tito, is spectacular. He's a really awesome guy. And he was great. He gave my son a free surfing lesson, refused to take payment for it, and was really just went out of his way to be helpful. So I thought I'd give a little shout out about this place. They don't have the best location, and there are definitely fancier hotels, but you won't find a nicer owner for a place to stay that'll go out of his way more to make you feel comfortable and happy here. And like always, there's probably other ways, better ways to rent than on booking.com. I think there's some people staying here more long-term that probably just negotiated their deal in person, but I was super pressed for time, and given that it was the carnival holiday, I wanted to have a place secured, so I booked that way. You, on the other hand, could probably show up, find the place, and get it for a lot less than I paid if you have the time and you're not on a holiday weekend. So a couple observations. You might want to bring more than just sandals to Mompiche, because the roads, at least during the rainy season, Carnival, they are a mess and it's hard to walk around. I brought my sandals, but also a pair of boots and a pair of shoes, and they came in handy. Right now I'm wearing my sandals because I'm going to the beach, so it is what it is. But yeah, Mompiche would do really well to invest in fixing the roads a little bit, since it is a tourist place, and man, it's rough. It's rough walking around like this. The other thing I really wish Mompiche would invest in is some garbage bins for the public, because there's really nowhere for people to throw their trash other than just in piles wherever. So the beach and the roads and the town are kind of a mess. Now, this is during Carnival holiday, so it's worse than normal. But what I noticed when we got here the day before a couple days before Carnival, they didn't clean up. It was a mess before we got here. So, man, Mompiche, get your act together. If you're gonna be a tourist place, be a tourist place. Don't be a disaster. What Mompiche does have going for it is it's got some pretty good surf when the surf's up. It's got a more safe current than a lot of parts of Ecuador. Like, it's kind of a little bay, so the current doesn't turn into a rip and pull you out. And it's got a real laid back vibe. It's totally laid back. So this little restaurant called The Grotto, which the locals just call Frank's, but the sign says The Grotto, is where we've been eating pretty much all of our meals here. And it's one of the few times I've traveled to the coast and I haven't had stomach problems at all. Food's great. They're really flexible for making things that aren't on the menu. So this has been our spot, and it's been great. Another place I recommend, a place where we've been eating a lot for lower cost food, a little bit more economical, is this little place on the main street. I don't know what the name is, Ballon de Verdi, I guess, or that's just the thing they have on their menu, but it's a great place for pan de yuca, y ballons, really good food here. One of the really nice things about the beach in Mompiche is that it is not a crowded beach. It is a little early in the morning and the surf isn't up. It will get more crowded than this, but this is during Carnival. It's a small enough town for how long the beach is that it just doesn't get crowded. It's also warmer water than some other parts of Ecuador. This is the equatorial current, not the Peruvian current, so all year long it's a lot warmer. Central and southern Ecuador, the water can get a little cold. It's a little hot here for my taste, a little hot for my cold Washington State blood, but yeah. This is an interesting part of the coast. The Esmeraldas province in general is wilder. It's less developed and more green. There's more wildlife, there's more fish. It's probably got some of the best food on the coast. Both Manabí and Esmeraldas are famous for their food. And it's one of the lower cost destinations along the coast. If you're traveling to some place like Salinas or Montanita or Olan or a coastal city like Manta, you're going to spend a lot more money than you will in Mompiche. It's just a lot cheaper here. If you find yourself in Mompiche considering buying a place here, be super careful. There's been a lot of scams going around with houses that are just not built to last. They're built with like untreated bamboo and basically slapped up real quick to sell to foreigners that don't know better, and they're houses where the wood isn't going to last 10 years before you're replacing all of it or tearing it down. So if you are coming out here, really take your time before buying anything. Scope it out carefully and try to get some good advice from the locals that are not interested in selling you a house about the quality of the construction and whether it's in a good place or not. And also scope out your situation with flooding, because Mompiche, especially along the beachfront, the ocean's been kind of breaking over the seawall and flooding the town. And there's some areas where, you know, just from rain, they flood out a lot. This area rains a lot, so a lot of stuff to be super careful about if you're going to buy in this town, because there's a lot of properties that really aren't worth anything, and whoever owns them are just trying to scam the next person on it. So this is Tito, the awesome owner here at Hotel Ocean Surf, or if you're looking at Google Maps, I think it says Villas Ocean Surf, but it's the same place. In Google Maps, it shows up across the street, but it's not. Just understand that it's through this little gate here. You can recognize this little gate with the two palm trees. Looks the same from the outside. Quiero explicar tu lugar y yo transductor, yo translate.
Mompiche, un lugar muy tranquilo y seguro para hospedarse en el Hotel Ocean Sur. Habitaciones cómodas, matrimoniales, triples, familiares, con cocina comunitaria, hamacas para el descanso y un amplio garaje para los carros. Te esperamos aquí en Hotel Ocean Sur en Mompiche, un lugar paradisíaco.
So what Tito was saying there is Mompiche is a place that is safe and tranquil, and his hotel Ocean Surf is it's got little villas, little rooms, like matrimonial rooms, and also he's got a variety of different rooms here, and hammocks and a communal kitchen. parking, all that good stuff. So I'm just giving him a little shout out. Like I said, he was really awesome and friendly with our family. And when I meet people like that in Ecuador and places to stay where they really go the extra mile, I always like to give them a shout out. Typically, the drive from Quito to Mompiche is about 6.5 hours, but with holiday traffic, it's about 7 hours.